Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our third sessions of the day. Please note that you may post your questions or inquiries at the Q&A function at the bottom of your Zoom interface. Without further ado, I would like to invite Mr. Sandeep Singh Nirmal to deliver his presentations on design of steel fiber reinforced concrete segment with curved radial joints. Mr. Sandeep Singh Nirmal co-founded the Tunneling Association of India Young Members, TAIYM, in year 2018 and is current chair of TAIYM. He is also a co-founder of Symposium of Young Tunneler of Asia, SYTA, which is to be held for the first time in conjunction with WTC 2020. Please welcome Mr. Sandeep Singh Nirmal.
Greetings to everyone who have joined from Asia and all my friends who have joined from outside Asia as well. I am Sandeep Singh Nirmal. I am working with Rights Limited. I will be discussing one of the designs that is very close to my heart, which is design of steel fiber reinforced concrete segments with curved radial joint. And this design very special to me, and I'll be carrying what I've learned through this journey by designing this project throughout my life. The reason why it is special is because when I was doing this design, I had very limited guidance and very limited mentorship, but I was able to figure it out myself from the scratch, and I've learned a lot. And I will definitely be taking the positives and the negatives that I've learned from it throughout my life to make my designs even better. Today, I'm very delighted to be presenting this design on this platform. Being one of the co-founders, I can imagine the excitement that we have all today to have a regional platform at Asia level to discuss and share the tunneling experiences that we are going through. When we began working on SITA about one and a half year ago, I was not sure that it will be such a huge success with participation from so many countries. And I am happy to say that countries like Malaysia, Japan, Thailand, uh, South Korea, China, and India have worked together to make this possible. And I thank every one of you to be here today. I usually have this photograph in my presentation. This photograph clearly shows that tunneling is not one person's job. Working underground needs a team effort, and we need people from electrical engineering, from mechanical engineering, from civil engineering, tunneling, ventilation, geotechnical, geology. So everybody comes together to produce wonderful results and make a project possible. The project that I'm going to talk about is Mumbai Metro Line 3, which is located in Mumbai. And we'll start with location and discussing a little bit about location and geology of Mumbai. Carrying on to the project overview, then discussing typical construction sequences that we adopted in this project. Later on, discussing the configuration of segmental lining and coming to the specifics of the design guidelines for SFRC segments, discussing design loads adopted for this project, and discussing the fiber properties that we adopted, design outputs that we got, and design of curved radial joints, specifically discussing how to design them in bursting forces, and later concluding with what we have learned from this design and the future prospects that are associated with this. As you can see, Mumbai is located on the west coast of India by the Arabian Sea, and I am sure nearly all of us would have heard of Mumbai. It has uh, very huge history, and it is the financial capital of India. The contractor for this project is HCC in JV with Moss Metro Stroy, and the design consultant for this project was ISI India Private Limited, for which I was employed with uh, at that moment when I did the design. Moving on to the geology of the project, it's not that funny picture, but I thought it would be of interest for few. Then this project is located on the coast with relatively younger strata, that is alluvial deposits from the sea on the top, uh, and a thin layer of alluvial deposit is then is overlaid by the weathered basalt or brecciated basalt, which is of volcanic origin and date back to Cretaceous period. That means 66 to 67 million year old. Um, then we find intact basalt or breccia at around 10 to 15 meters of depth. Weathered breccia is a fragmented rock mass in soil-like matrix, and when water starts to flow through it, it behaves like soil. So you can imagine that when we are tunneling through the mixed geology, we are in locations where we have intact basalt, and we go into weathered breccia with high water levels, uh, which behaves like a soft ground. This project included design and construction of underground stations and TBM and NATM tunnels. It had four stations called CST Station, Kalba Devi Station, Girgaon Station, and Grant Road Station. There were two tunnels for one train to carry, uh, one for upline and one for downline, are about 4.5 kilometers long each, with seven number of cross passages, and only two drives were used for the whole project with two TBMs. And at the location of of the stations, the TBM tunnels were widened to make space for platform tunnels. As you can see in this image, the dotted tunnels are TBM tunnels, which are being widened. At the moment the project is going on, and it is under construction, so we can see that they will be they are being widened to make space for platform tunnels. So you can see that the project area, this is one of the 7 packages that is involved in this project. We were in package 2. So you can see that on the south, we begin with CST station from where the TBMs were launched, and all the way to the north, they travel up to Grant Road station. And the stations in Kalba Devi, Girgaon, and Grant Road were built with a combination of cut and cover and NATM technology later on. So this project included nearly all type of tunneling that we study. TBM TBMs used were open face hard rock TBMs, and recently in last few months, both the TBMs have had breakthrough through the ground station, through the Grant Road station. Typical construction sequence that we have followed is to go through with TBM tunnels first, then we widen the tunnels to make them as platform tunnels. Sometimes we widen them to have the staircases into them as well. This was one of the old plans for Kalbadevi stations, which has gone under review, and now instead of two tunnels, we have three tunnels. Uh, Two tunnels carrying trains and one tunnel carrying only the passenger amenities. Coming on to the segmental lining configuration, the internal diameter of the TBM tunnels is 5.8 meter, and the thickness of the lining is 150 millimeters, making the outer dia as 6.35 meters. Configuration has five regular segments and one key segment, with width of each segment. Oh, I apologize. The thickness of the lining is 275 millimeters. The width of the segment hence is 275 millimeters, with reinforced concrete segments of grade M50 concrete. The rings are universally tapered, making it easy to maneuver, and length of each ring is 1.4 meters, which this configuration is designed for curves up to 200 meters of radius. Coming on to the design loads, we considered the soil or rock overburden, ground loads that were present due to the buildings, the water loads because the water level was quite high, the location being close to sea. Then earthquake loads, although Mumbai is not very earthquake prone, but it still lies in zone 2, for which we had to consider the additional stresses. Then we have moments due to ovalization of tunnel lining, ram loads, gasket loads, gasket compression loads, and demolding, lifting, handling, and stacking loads, along with the primary and secondary grounding loads that we expect. Steel fibers that we used were of 80 by 60 configuration, and the reference was used as a reference. The Thames Tideway Tunnel project was used to see that if the same fibers uh, can fit into the requirement of the project, and apparently they were found to be uh, quite appropriate. So we suggested that we should go for same configuration, do the beam test to find out uh, the crack flexural capacity of the beams and the segment, and then go ahead with the design. Fiber tensile strength was 1100 MPa. We decided that a feed of 30 kg per meter cube should be sufficient for this project. Characteristic residual flexural strength for 0.5 millimeter crack by the loading was found to be 3.5 MPa, and for 2.5 millimeter crack was found to be 2.3 MPa. Residual tensile strength was found to be 0.77 MPa. And concrete that we used was M50, or we can say that it was C40 as per the Eurocode standards. Before we go into the project, the main design part of it, I want to share that steel fibers work differently than the normal reinforced concrete. So the moment carrying capacity of steel fiber uh, is generated after the crack is initiated. So as soon as there is flexural load onto it, uh, the crack is initiated, and uh, the fibers then start to act to bind the concrete and create a flexural capacity, give a flexural capacity to the concrete. So for it to work, we have to crack it first, uh, and to see during testing that after 0.5 mil crack and 2.5 mil crack, what is the flexural capacity that it has. And then we use those flexural capacities and the curve. We create a curve for these flexural capacities with the deflection, and then we find out how much energy it can take and it can dissipate by, and how much load it can. We did the FEM analysis to find out the load and stresses onto the tunnel lining. For each of the stations, we chose the uh, appropriate section, which was the most critical section, and found the stresses that we were expecting into the lining. So you can see that we were expecting huge forces because of high water levels, and moments were high only where the strata was not very good. Otherwise, moments were quite low for the intact. Then we did a load moment diagram. This load moment, load moment diagram was generated for the specific fiber reinforced concrete segment, and these capacities were found by the beam test that we did to find the cracked fractional capacity of the segments. So you can see that two stations were very comfortably inside the graph and quite safe. Kirgaon station was theoretically safe, and where it was quite close to uh, the capacity of the matrix. And this construction is going on, and that we have found that this uh, the configuration does work for the as we for the project as we expected. Now coming on to the specifics of designing the curved radial joint. So this is one of the configurations of our segment. So you can see that the segments are jointed to each other with grooves in between for allowing uh, it to ovalize, and a groove to put a segment gasket for waterproofing. So we can see that the radius of this radial joint is about 2000 meters. As you can see that this uh, this is the effective width for the segment, and all the hoof force that will be coming onto the lining will be transferred to this particular width, creating huge busting force here. And we have to check that uh, this joint is safe for the busting stresses. So that's why we have to sometimes provide the end reinforcements, or we can say the ladder reinforcement towards the bursting joint, to find out whether the stresses are in the capacity of the concrete to uh, sustain or not, and on the other hand, to find out how much additional reinforcement we require. We used an approach from ROARC, and calculation for busting on this crack contact width was done, and then the calculation for reinforcement which was required was found out. So apologize for not very good pictures, but I guess it is still a little bit readable. This is basically the abstract from the ROARC's approach. So we can see that uh, it is assumed that one segment is trying to transfer the hoof force to another segment like a pre-stressed block. So this will push the segment down, resulting into the busting forces which will try to crack the concrete. So and we know that concrete, it is considered that concrete does not have the tensile capacity to take tensile stresses. Hence, uh, we have to provide additional reinforcement to cater for those stresses. As a design guideline, as per ITA, the steel fiber reinforced concrete is considered to only improve the flexural strength of the concrete, but not the compressive or the tensile stresses. So there is theoretically no benefit of putting steel fibers for bursting stresses. So we calculated the bursting stresses using Park's approach, and all these numbers and all these formulas are from Eurocodes as well as ROARC approach to find out the bursting stresses. Based on these stresses, we found out the area of reinforcement required at this location. I would like to conclude by saying that there is what I've learned is that we have to combine three different approaches to come to the conclusion. One is ITA guidelines for design of reinforced concrete segments, ROARC's approach, and Eurocodes to actually find out the solution for this challenge. We may work a little bit to create a comprehensive guideline to design steel fiber reinforced concrete segments. And there is certainly some improvement in concrete in terms of tensile and compressive stresses due to put steel fibers into it. So there is further scope of finding out how much they contribute to the strength of the concrete in that sense, and to find that how much of that capacity we can utilize to reduce the amount of reinforcement required for uh, tensile and bursting forces. Uh, Thank you very much. I would like to finish my presentation and would be happy to answer your questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sandeep Singh Nirmal. May I now invite Mr. Divik Badonpaya, who is the tunneling engineers with London Bridge Associate Limited. Divik is currently served the British Tunnelling Society Young Members Sub-Chair Professional Development to deliver his presentation titled Tunneling in an Urban Environment and Managing Third-Party Interfaces in London. Please welcome Mr. Divik Badonpaya.